go over movement snacks. So these are movements you can do throughout your workday. For example, if you're at your computer and you can't really leave your workstation very readily, this is stuff that you can do to continue moving within the confines of a smaller space. So some stuff you can do in a seated position. First and foremost, if you can try to get up and move ideally every hour, that's the ideal situation, even if it's just to use the restroom, grab some water. But let's say you're in a meeting, virtual meeting, and you can't really leave your workstation. If you're in a seated position, a good one to do is cross-legged stretch, leaning forward, coming up. And this isn't stuff that you have to implement in a very structured manner. If it's just you're doing it kind of mindlessly, not really counting reps, that's okay. You're just trying to get moving if, again, you can't get up every hour. Something else you can do, we'll go over some things on standing. One of my favorites personally is a lunge stretch for the fronts of the hips, the hip flexors. You're gonna lunge, doesn't have to be a huge lunge if you don't have that much space, even a narrow stance lunge is okay. We're gonna tuck the tail, and then we're gonna add a side bend. You should feel gentle opening, stretching in the front of the hip. Another one you can do is a little bit of a twist. You should, again, feel a little bit of an opening in the hip. Same thing on the other side, so you're not lopsided. Side bending away from the leg that is back. Same thing with the twist, a little bit of a twist. Of course, you can do just an easy forward bend. Again, this is not anything that's very involved, and that's intentional. You can also do the opposite. If you've been sitting for a while, this is a really good one to implement some backward bends. That way you're reversing the position that you were just in. And then another good one is if you have either a stool or a trash can, or maybe a couple of books, stack them on top of each other and prop your foot up. If you're at your standing computer doing this, that helps offload the back and helps offload the fronts and the hips. And then, I know this is a lot, but this is just to give you different things to pick and choose from. Traditional, just quad stretch, you can hold onto your desk for balance. These muscles get pretty tight when we're sitting for a while, so that's another nice one to do. And then lastly, you can also do, this is another one of my favorites, more of a sumo stance, wide stance, toes out, a little bit of a squat, shift your weight side to side. Those are muscles that can get tight when you're in one position for a while. So again, there are a lot of things that you can do when you're standing at your desk or sitting at your desk and you can't necessarily get up very readily. Again, ideally, if at least once an hour, if you can't walk, stand, use the restroom, grab some water, if at least every hour you can do a couple of those, maybe one rep of 3 of those movements, that's a really good place to start.